Okay. Think we can let people in. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live. Think we can let people in. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live. Think we can let people in. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live. Thank you for that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. You're in the right place here. We're just about ready to get underway with the second workshop of the last day or couple days, depending upon your time zones here. Just wait a moment to get everybody in the space. This is the marketing communications session here, marketing innovation proposals. And so we'll be getting going here in another minute or so.
Right. Thanks for dialing in. Hello, everyone. I see some familiar faces. Leonard, Nathan, Nadia. While we are waiting for people to come in, I encourage all of you, including myself, to rename yourself with your role. Are you a vendor? What's your role today? Or are you a DRep or on the Cardano committee? You will see me. My name is Britta Wolfkammer. I am with my team here from Voltage Control. We have renamed ourselves VC after our name. And there is Dirk, Susan, Eric, Shari, and Kat. Kat will be assisting with the Zoom technology today. Welcome. Give it a few minutes. And then there is Danielle. All right. Some have already joined some previous workshops and know us from our previous work. Welcome. Wherever you're calling in from, I can see Andy. Okay, today's workshop, topical workshop on the budget, marketing and innovation. And we are seeking clarity and information, but also high-level pitches from some vendors today. That's on the agenda. So we will have around 11 pitches signed up for today. There will be a break about midway through. And this is the second workshop for now I need to think, Eastern Hemisphere from where I am. We're getting people signed in. Please, whoever is coming in now, please rename yourself with whatever your role is. Are you a DRep or a vendor or on the committee? You do that by clicking on your little window. There are 3 dots on the top and you go down to rename. And we are also live, so please feel free to share the live stream. Does anyone have the link? You can pop it in the chat for the live stream so we can broadcast it widely. All right, there's Andy. I am also, what I'm going to do before we start going deeper into the pitches and after the introductions, I'm going to share the list of proposals we have today. There was a mention in the chat. Yes, Japan Renaissance. We should have that on the list. Andy, you're already there. I can remember. Philippine Cardano is on the list. Thanks for that question. Nathan, I'm pretty sure I got you covered here. Saw you on the list. And we are 5 minutes in, and I suggest we get started. So thank you everyone for joining in today. First of all, I would like to remind you all of a few, I call it housekeeping rules to understand how we're going to work together and also to respect the space we're in today. So our 5 rules are be here and now, to focus on what's going on in this space today, turn off any notifications, phone on silent, so you can really focus on being here. Trust the process. Some of the things you're seeing or we are doing today might be new to you, and just give it some space to allow sinking in. We've done this before, and just trust the process and the new method. Be curious. Be curious. Listen to understand. Often we listen to persuade or convince. Listen to understand what others are having to say, instead of listen and trying to persuade and convince. Move back and move in. What does that mean? We have different characters. Some like to be vocal and say a lot. Some like to sit and be quiet. Give space to others. It's good to voice yourself, but also move back and give room for others so that we get a wide perspective of views. And then the last one is seek progress over perfection. We do not aim to be perfect. We want to move forward. This is still a prototype to get information on a high level and a good foundation moving forward with a budget process. Yes, so I've also put the rules in the chat. And with that, I'm going to pause for a second and hand over to Danielle to take us through the budget orientation, if Danielle's ready.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Appreciate the patience for those of you who have seen this so far, but we want to quickly do an orientation for everybody joining these calls in case it's the only one they've joined. So we just want to make sure it's kind of clear where we are in the process for the 2025 budget. At a very high level, these are the main steps that we have to take to be able to withdraw funds from the Treasury and Cardano. First, we have to have an improved net change limit, which specifies the total amount that the kind of upper limit of withdrawals that can be taken from the Treasury. And then we also need approved budgets. And that's what we are working on now. And when we're talking about the budget process, it's to get us to a point of consensus as a community to approve a budget or multiple budgets. Once that's in place, then we're able to do the Treasury withdrawals, which is again an on-chain vote, and that actually moves the funds from the Treasury to where is specified within the withdrawal. And so that is going to be sent to administrators. So that's a requirement of the Constitution, is that Treasury withdrawals have to specify an administrator. So those funds will be sent to administrators or one administrator, depends on how we have them drafted. And then from that point forward, it moves more into traditional contracting and also using smart contracts to help govern those funds, put legal contracts in place, and then the vendors will ultimately execute the work. And then we kind of start again. So super high level in terms of the process. And then if we focus in on the red rectangle, the budget process itself for 2025 is broken into 2 main steps. One is proposal submission and review. That's where we are now. So that's going to end April 24th, when we'll then move into reconciliation. So in the phase we're in now is the time for vendors to submit their proposals. It's the time also for DReps and the community to review those proposals and give them feedback. And that's mainly happening through workshops like this and GovTools. And then in reconciliation, we're teeing up 2 virtual workshops to help take all of the proposals and create budget info action or multiple info actions. based on the DREP preferences. So we'll be looking for sentiment from the DReps to determine which proposals should be bundled into the Cardano budget. And then that makes up what goes on chain for the official vote from DReps. And then where should you focus depends on which role you have in the ecosystem. During the review phase we're in now, DReps should be looking at proposals, putting comments in their polls, yes or no, within GovTools, and also kind of having conversations and engaging with delegators, with vendors, with experts as they see fit. For proposals, this is your time to submit and then also monitor and engage the community for feedback as well as DReps and decide whether or not you want to update and improve your proposal along the way based on that feedback. And then finally, this is the time for the Intersect committee members to also be reviewing proposals and providing any guidance or thoughts to the community based on what they're seeing as the experts in their domain. And then in the reconciliation phase, we will be working to use a workshop methodology to help bring us from a list of prioritized proposals into a soft agreement as to what makes sense to go into the budget info action. So it doesn't matter what role you are, attending that workshop is the best way to be engaged in that phase. And so the last piece of information here is the schedule with dates. We are currently doing the marketing and innovation workshops. They will be followed by reviewing proposals and having pitches from vendors for governance research and proposals submitted with no category, followed by core. And then you can see here the dates for the reconciliation workshops. This QR code takes you to a Luma calendar where we're keeping all of the budget process related events in one place. So we also have Intersect Hub events happening for proposal reviews, AMAs, giving extra time for vendors to pitch their proposals if they didn't make it into these orange workshops here, as well as X Spaces and any other events that we pull together to help with the budget process. So I'll leave it at that, and I would also encourage you to put questions in the chat, and I'll try to address those there. I do see one person with a hand up, so maybe we can address, if there's only one question, do we have time to address that, or should we do that in the chat, Britta?
We have time to address that quickly, yes. Louis,
Okay.
Bill, please go ahead.
Apologies, I didn't realize we were doing questions in the chat. I'm happy to do that if it helps move things along.
It's okay, you can just voice it here right now.
Okay, it was just a question on the original slide, Danielle, that you had with regards to the stepping through all of the processes. The second to last step being established contracts with vendors. Is there a reason why we would do that before doing the treasury withdrawals? Sorry, after instead of before? Could we not do
it's up to the administrator.
Yeah,
it's up to the administrator if they want to be starting to draft the contracts. The only reason it's after is because there's no 100% guarantee they've got the funds to fund that work until the vote has been, until the treasury withdrawal has a vote that approves it. So until that point, you likely wouldn't want to put pen to paper to sign as the administrator, because they would have to take on that liability and hope that
sure.
the DReps and the CC do approve those treasury withdrawals. That's the only reason,
Yeah, I think part of the discussions around this process is obviously giving DReps the ultimate authority. And so giving them the ability to essentially veto selected vendors would probably be a good thing. But obviously, I'll maybe pass that to a different forum rather than trying to litigate that here. But yeah, thanks.
Yep, thanks for the question. All right, back to you, Brenna.
Thank you so much, Danielle. So we are now soon going into the pitches. And I remind all of you who have signed in or called in late, please rename your name and put your role, vendor, DRep, or committee behind your name so we know who you are and who's in the room. And we would now like to ask Cardano Builder DAO, as anyone here, to present your pitch. Terrence.
I'm sorry, I was checking this earlier. Are the committees going first, or are they not going in the eastern side, or?
I believe we do not have committees presenting today.
Can I correct that, please? We just switched the order, so we're going to do innovation first and then marketing, but you're still in the agenda.
Perfect. Thanks.
For that. Is anyone here right now from Cardano Builder DAO on topic innovation? Yes. Thanks for that, Danielle. We start with innovation. I believe we have 2 pitches and then we move over to marketing.
I don't think I see Logan on, so we might have to come back to Cardano Builder DAO.
Yeah, I make a note on that. So in regards of time, let's move on. The next one is Sandeep for Autonomous Agent Test SDK. And if Sandeep, I think I saw Sandeep. Sandeep, are you here?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Fantastic. So you have 5 minutes to present your pitch. Let us know when you're ready. We put up a timer, and this is just to keep it fair for everyone. 5 minutes, and I'll have to make a hard stop when the time is up, and then you have 5 minutes for Q&A. And if you want to share a deck link, you're welcome to do that. Share your link in the chat. And we're here for you once you're ready. Let us know.
Thank you.
Give Sandeep a few minutes to get started. You have a presentation, or are you going to do video voice only?
I don't have a presentation. I will be sharing the GovTool link and explaining based on that.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Great. One moment.
Yes, Nadia, I'm seeing your comment. Once the pitches are done, we're going into questions and answers and have pluses and deltas. So while Sandeep is getting ready, we will ask folks in the room to give their pluses. What did you like about the presentation? What questions do you have? What deltas? And you can put that into the chat or into the plenary, whatever you prefer. Sandeep.
Yes, one moment.
Yes, and well done, Sandeep, for stepping up first. Kudos to you. Eric, I see you came off mute. Anyone else while we're waiting?
Maybe if Sandeep needs a little bit more time, we can move on to the next person there.
Sandeep, how are you with getting started? Do you need some more time? Sandeep? Well, while we're waiting for Sandeep, let's see if Growth and Marketing Committee, GMC budget proposal is in the room.
Martin or Nate, if either of you all want to present, otherwise I can for you.
Sandeep, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so let's do this. Let's give Sandeep his space now, and then we go on with the growth and marketing. Is that okay? Because Sandeep is under innovation, right? Okay,
yes,
go.
thank you.
And I give 5 minutes. We have the timer up.
Hello, everybody. I'm presenting Autonomous Agent Testing SDK. This is an SDK for autonomous agent testing, distributed testing. We have been extensively involved in testing in Cardano space, including GovTool. GovTool hard fork testing, several Basil and Chang, and other testing as well with Plutus. What we have seen there is mostly unit testing, integration testing, where certain parts are tested, but not multi-transaction, multi-epoch testing. And there we do see a gap because it's a distributed system. and you cannot test just one thing which works, but there could be side effects that are not tested within that unit testing. That's why we went for building this autonomous agent testing, having multiple agents test different aspects of the system at the same time in a distributed network. We previously applied for Catalyst to do governance testing 1694. The link is here. Hopefully you can see my screen. We have this completed. The last step, final report is submitted, waiting for the final approval on that. Now this proposal is extension of that, developing an SDK that any DApp developers in Cardano can use based on the work that we did for 1694 governance testing. Because essentially in a DApp, you have multiple stakeholders like say ADA holder or different personas. Considering an example like an NFT marketplace, you could have buyers, sellers, all doing different transactions. And that could be at the same time, different stakeholders doing different transactions. And you want to test the behavior of a system in as real world scenario as possible. And we enable tab developers to do that. And this is fully open source. We have it deployed here, and we have, I don't have the full link here. Here is the GitHub, and it's Apache 2.0 license, so fully free to use. Feel free to use this fork, develop your own, and use this to test your DApp. We want to make it as easy as possible to use the source code to customize to your own DApp. And we would like the Cardano community to use it and benefit from it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Also feel free to put the links into the chat. We will be grabbing them from there and adding everything to the document so you have a one-stop shop. And now I would like to ask the community here to give your pluses and deltas either into the chat or into the plenary. What did you like about this proposal? What questions do you have? What concerns and questions do you have? Please keep it coming. Give it a few seconds, and then next is up growth and marketing committee. Get prepared. Sandeep, you are, just for your information, you're still sharing your screen. It's okay, but just so you're aware. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone.
Yes.
I'm Martin. I'll present for the GMC for the growth and marketing committee.
Okay, just let's give it.
Are you going to give time for questions?
Yes, I'm just waiting for questions to come in. So just hold it for a few minutes or seconds. We have a plus from Leonard here. Good release, well done, Sandeep. That was not a question, that was a plus.
Thank you.
Please keep it coming. Any questions, concerns, pluses, kudos to Sandeep and his pitch. Allow it some time. Sandeep, you've done well on the time on the clock, so we'll also give it some time to folks to organize their thoughts. Martin, can you hold it a minute? So we give, there are no questions. There was a +1 from Nate. All right. If it seems like questions and answers for Sandeep's pitch have been exhausted, and with that, I'm going to hand over to the next. Growth and Marketing Committee budget proposal. Let me know when you're ready, and we put the timer up. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Do you see my screen?
We see your screen,
Okay.
yes. And Martin, go ahead. We put the timer up. You got 5 minutes.
Yeah. So good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. I'm Martin. I'm voting member of GMC. It's a little bit after 5 a.m. in the morning in my time, so bear with me if my English is not that good, but yeah, just bear with me. So today I'm excited to present the 2025 Cardano Marketing Budget Proposal, a strategic plan to elevate Cardano's global presence and strengthen our community as we transition to decentralized governance. So this proposal, funded hopefully by Cardano Treasury, is designed to deliver impactful marketing initiative across 10 key work streams. In the slides, you may see 9. The 10th is the administrative one. I will explain that later. So let's dive into the slides. So the 2025 marketing budget is up for a vote by delegate representatives or DReps on behalf of the Cardano community. They'll evaluate two components mainly. First, the Global Marketing Committee's funding recommendations from the Treasury. And the second, the budget estimates for each work stream based on their detailed descriptions. So importantly, unspent funds can be rolled over to the other programs that you see on the slides, or future budgets, or of course, return to the Treasury, ensuring the flexibility and accountability to the process that we propose. The budget is organized, as I said, in 10 work streams, covering everything from event marketing to social media and community management. It's denominated in ADA with estimates based on the current price 0.72 and conservative price 0.5 for the planning. We also provide USD figures for clarity, as many of our out-of-the-pocket expenses like venue bookings are priced in fiat currencies. So this dual approach accounts for ADA's price volatility while ensuring we meet hard cost efficiently. So the proposal is grounded and robust with data. We benchmark against marketing budgets of leading Web3 projects like Arbitrum, Atrium, Uniswap, etc., as well as organizations with similar financial profiles. You can think as $1 billion plus in revenue. We also drew in historic Cardano budgets and pricing from top Web3 marketing agency. So key findings in this, industry leaders typically allocate around 10% of the revenue for marketing purposes. A standard we also use to ensure our budget is competitive yet prudent. So I will highlight a few of the work streams. So yeah, these slides we already passed because I'm changing slides and also speaking. This is for the research. So we just jump to the work streams. So a few work streams, program and administration. This ensures oversight with dedicated marketing program manager to track KPIs and report ROIs to the community. Another one is global brand strategy. This will create a unified brand identity and creative assets to boost Cardano's recognition worldwide. And I believe we have another proposal that will address this particular aspect of marketing Cardano. So next work stream is event management, covers major events like Cardano Summit, fostering community engagement in any way, hackathons, and etc. So social media and community management aim to grow our digital presence and cultivate loyal evangelists, you could say. Product marketing. This includes roughly 1.5 million for go-to-market campaigns to promote Cardano's roadmap milestones. Each work stream is designed to maximize impact with budget covering vendor fees and expenses like video production or venue rentals and other expenses. So I will just jump few slides. As you see on the screen, global brand strategy, marketing community grant programs. You can see all of that in GovTools. The proposal is there. Yeah, my time is up. Just had a few more sentences, but that's mainly the idea.
Thank you so much, Martin. You did well. And I am now giving the space for the people in the room. Please keep your questions. Pluses, what did you like about this proposal? What questions and concerns do you have? Either raise your hand, speak in plenary, or put your questions into the chat. Any pluses, any deltas? So we have a plus from Nate. Can we have a few more sentiments, advice on this proposal? So there's a question. I'm reading it out to you. Have you already engaged with vendors outside the ecosystem for the roles you mentioned, Martin?
Yeah. Yes, we engaged, but we are in the initial talks with them just to mainly for research purposes, not to pick up vendors for the community. That will be DReps' responsibility. They have to choose. We can only suggest which of the vendors we think can fill up the gap and put the work on and do the job right. And this is will be our opinion, but the end saying, the final saying is the DReps. So yeah.
Yes, thank you. And there was a follow-up question on the same question. Did you go to them or did they come to you?
Both. For some we went to them, for others they came to us. It's both ways.
Thank you. I hope that clarifies for you. You flow. Any other sentiments or feedback for this pitch of Martin?
It's good if they come to us, right? That means that they're engaging. That's the good thing.
Hello, James. I see you were going to say something. James, we tear this. Nope.
Not on me. Not on me. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Nice to see you, James.
All right. So it seems
Good to see you as well.
It seems there are no more questions, pluses and deltas. And with that, I think I have Chris up next for the next proposal, which is also under innovation. And that is called Catalyst 2025 Proposal by Input Output, Advancing Decentralized Community Innovation, Funding and Infrastructure. Chris, there he is.
Awesome. Give me a minute. I'm going to just get myself a bit locked and loaded. Can I just make sure that you can all hear me all right? Am I coming through loud and clear?
We're giving you a bit of time. Let us know when you're ready, and then we put the timer up.
Can you hear me okay? Is that
yes.
correct? Good.
Can hear you okay?
All right. Let me just get myself sorted. Okay. And then I need sharing. Okay. You guys can see that now, yeah?
Yes, and just a reminder, any links, slide links you want to share, put them in the chat. We grab them from there.
Put them in the chat. Hold on one sec. Not for time to start just yet. All right, okay. You all now have that. Okay, I'm going to get going. So, hi everyone. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Chris Baird. I'm General Manager of Catalyst. If you don't know what Catalyst is, I would really implore you to check out the Horizons report on the slide presented here. Catalyst has been running for the last 4 years, and we have really evolved from being not just an experiment in governance or a side experiment in governance for Cardano, but really the core engine of innovation and early stage capital allocation that has really built out Cardano's startup society. So for us to be able to continue to be this important contributor and continue to realize this vision of a network state and distributed decision making, we need to really recognize that this innovation and ideas about innovation platforms need to be matched by an exceptional backbone for execution, community empowerment, and mature technology. So to date, Catalyst has brought 4 years of experience, over 3 million governance decisions, allocating over 290 million ADA from 114 countries, over 13 funding rounds. But we need to also be humble and recognize that, we don't have a perfect system today. Right now, most of the system is split across a number of disparate parts. And we see that the problem set is based around Cardano needs reliable ecosystem funding, even at this most uncertain time. We need to ensure that there's going to be hundreds of startups that continue to receive funding throughout the ecosystem through 2025 and beyond. We know that there are operational efficiencies that need to be met. We can see that there's opportunities to raise voter engagement, both through Catalyst and just general participation in governance more broadly. Our software is our biggest limitation within Catalyst. It's currently split across disparate parts. We need to find a way of being able to pull these together to create a more unified experience rather than the fragmented UX that everybody finds themselves in today. Highly critically, we need to ensure that voting power concentration is addressed so that there isn't the potential mitigation or influence of whales, and we have solutions to be able to mitigate against that. And we need to clarify what our focus is in the advent and in the age of 1694 and the age of Voltaire. Where does Catalyst sit in amongst all this stuff? So over the last 4 years, we've built out expertise that understands that if you have funds, community, process, governance, and technology all matured, you're going to see ecosystem growth. We've seen this through Catalyst over the last 4 years, and we feel that we're only just getting started. We already have most of the parts of this puzzle already in place in some form today. But again, I come back to this idea. We're limited by this fragmented set of interfaces, disparate modules that don't sit joined together. And that forms one of the 3 work streams that we're presenting to you today. So what are we really talking about? Well, first of all, 61 million ADA of the nearly 70 million ADA budget is going to be allocated to purely distributed into the community, focused on 4 key categories: early stage R&D, later stage pilot trials and demonstrators, continuing the build out of the open source developer ecosystem, and the grassroots creative creators open ecosystem category. Also introducing a 1 million ADA retroactive public goods funding experiment so that people that even aren't funded through the vote through Catalyst, if they go out and deliver the goods anyway, they have a guaranteed pathway that they can get reimbursed for their hard work. That's work stream 1. Work stream 2 is Catalyst interface design and development. As I said, we need to bring together all of these disparate parts of the Catalyst user experience. We're already rolling out the first parts of this. If you approve this proposal with Fund 14, you will no longer use the current proposal submission interface. Idea scale, no more. Now we'll have the Catalyst platform. We'll have all of the other parts of the puzzle being put together over the next 12 months once the next part of the budget is approved. And underpinning all of this, which is workstream 3, is the Hermes infrastructure. This is essentially a fully decentralized piece of infrastructure that allows for so much more enablement within the Cardano community. This allows for new funding streams to come on board. This allows for no single points of failure and an entirely decentralized user experience, data storage, and events processing. Ultimately put together, this extends all of our capabilities, enables to get us into a production-ready state for fully decentralized voting and innovation fund management. We've got a very clear roadmap that will complete within the next 12 months, and the sum of all the parts is what you can see on the screen. Happy to take any questions.
Wow, that was spot on time-wise. Chris, thank you so much. So 5 minutes for what are you curious about? What do you like about Chris's pitch? And keep your questions and pluses coming into the chat, or raise your arm if you want to speak. I mean, your hand, if you want to speak in plenary. I'm opening the floor up for the community here.
What I will say is that it is quite a lengthy proposal, and I know you've got a quite difficult job ahead of you, DReps, but this is a very important one in and amongst all the other important ones. So please do read it if you haven't had a chance to. Yeah, and maybe to address that specifically, in Fund 14, there'll be the first implementation of quadratic voting coming to Catalyst. In Fund 15, we'll roll out liquid democracy. How about delegating to anybody? That's an idea. How about that?
So we have, thank you, Chris. We have a few questions in the, but there's also Nadia who has her hand raised. So Nadia, please.
This is cool, Chris. It's nice to see how you guys put something like this together to just get a sense of the vision for the next year. I got to go to one or two of the spaces for the new tech that will replace IdeaScale, which no one is complaining about happening. So I'd love to hear you just like talk maybe a couple points about that, what that's going to be like. I think for the community, it's nice to see that finally happen. So I'd love to hear about it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, essentially, the roadmap now is, from Fund 10, you guys are giving us the mandate to start rebuilding that infrastructure. We are releasing the first part of that in Fund 14, and the remainder of the roadmap really is to create that fully unified device agnostic Catalyst platform that threads the needle between proposal submission through to review, through to moderation, through to voting, through to project onboarding, through to project administration, and then all of the contributor roles sitting beneath that and having your reputation to be able to build up behind you and track against all of your contributions and participations. Now, beyond that, imagine Catalyst not being bound to just Ada. Imagine Catalyst being unlocked for any type of CNT to be able to use within the Catalyst ecosystem. Now that unlocks so many other potential opportunities like co-funding, match funding, donations, so many other things. But most importantly is this unified piece so that no part of the Catalyst experience today, end to end, sits in some disjointed part that you have to hop from one interface to the other. That's the biggest limiting factor today, and I think it's what's going to drive us forward. On top of that, there's multiple voting mechanics that we're going to be able to benefit from. Leverage, use this as a governance sandbox still, and try to identify which is the best mechanic for each job that needs to be done.
Thank you, Chris and Nadia. And there's a question that we have time to address. Explain Discovery Center, please.
Yeah, so I think this is a really interesting idea around how do we, as proposers or as anyone that's coming to understand what sits within the Catalyst sphere of innovation, how do we best understand what's come before it? Right? So when you could think about what the feature set for this could be, it could involve those advanced AI tools that allows, a search query to dive really deep into the backdrop and everything that's come before it and be able to surface the right sorts of information that helps you as a builder to be able to tweak and adapt your proposal as such. And I think that's not just a useful tool for proposers, it's a useful tool for anybody that wants to come and peek under the hood of Catalyst.
Thank you, Chris. And there's a comment and a double plus from Nathan. Glad you addressed the problem of UX and whale manipulation. So we have 1 minute. Any more comments or questions? What are you curious about before we move on to the next pitch?
I mean, just to maybe comment on that, I mean, the point of being able to delegate and also to have it quadratically captured so that your voting influence is not huge, or no one wallet is huge. Plus also the ability to use time-weighted stake, right? So in my opinion, if you could go out and buy 10 million ADA tomorrow at the chime of the snapshot, well, should I have as much influence as someone that's participated for the last 7 years? Probably not. So you add time-weighted stake, quadratic voting, and liquid democracy. What do you have? a lot more equitable decision making going on.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. And with that, also a reminder, if you have any links to your presentation, that needs to be put in the chat. With that, next up is Gabriella, and the proposal and the pitch is called UTXO. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. Alliance Support.
Great.
Also
Thank
innovation.
you very much. Great. Thank you very much. Okay, let's just jump right in. So this is our current proposal. Just as some background, the UTXO Alliance was initiated by IOG a few years ago. During the past year, we as Wolfram Blockchain Labs have taken over running this UTXO Alliance. And we've been making town halls, we've been making engaging with other blockchains and making them come into the UTXO Alliance. So this is the work we've been doing during the past year. Some of these, for example, we just created this new site for the UTXO Alliance where you can see the current members down here. Of course, we have Cardano. We integrated some new blockchains recently, for example, like Phi. And yeah, so we created this. We've been running. The idea here is to collaborate between blockchains that have this UTXO Alliance and UTXO model, because we know like account model is known, but of course UTXOs have a lot of benefits. So that's the idea here, to come together and be able to reuse or collaborate in technology. So this is the main idea we have here. We run monthly town halls where members of each of the blockchains come in. Sometimes they share the latest technological improvements or upcoming things they have. And yeah, the idea of this proposal is to fund over the next year of running this UTXO Alliance for us as Wolfram Blockchain Labs. Just as some background, we created this new site. We also are currently running the Twitter account. We've been able to increase the number of followers during the past year. And also we've been putting some effort. If you have time, I'll put the link in the chat, to create this handbook. This handbook gives a basis of all of UTXOs. It gives you from just very basic things, how does these UTXO models work? And also here we have the flavors. We're calling it flavors because it's UTXO, yes, but the different blockchains have different ways of implementing each of these. So that's why we're calling it flavors. And you see here, we have a section for each of the implementations of the blockchains. So I'll send this as a link. And in general, these would cover running these different town halls during the year. So if you have any questions, open. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriella. What are your questions? What did you like about this proposal? Please share your thoughts. And there's a question in the chat, Gabriella. What's the goal of the Alliance?
Yeah, here the goal is really to come together. All of the UTXO-based blockchains come together and be able to share openly the new developments they have, how they are implementing this UTXO model. So it's basically collaboration between all. Instead of like, we want to see it as a collaboration instead of being competitors, right? We want collaboration. We want to be able to share openly new developments, new things that come in. So this is the idea of this UTXO Alliance.
Thank you. All right, there's another question. I like that. Can you explain the benefit to the Cardano ecosystem and why did IO let it go?
That's a question above I am not sure, to be honest. We've taken over running this UTXO Alliance. I'm not sure why what was the reason they let it go. But what benefit do we have as Cardano ecosystem? We're a very big player. The Cardano ecosystem is very strong between all of these UTXO blockchains. I think Cardano is very strong between them. And it enables a lot of collaboration, like different implementations of software can be shared. So it's really cross-chain collaborations, implementations that could be useful. This is the things that we could potentially use as a Cardano ecosystem and also integrate others into our ecosystem.
Thank you. And there's another question from Yo-Yo Flow. So do the other AUTXO chains co-fund? It's in the chat. I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. At the moment, no. We are thinking of different ways that we can help fund this UTXO Alliance so it can keep running. We have different ideas of how this can eventually be self-sustaining, but at the moment we would need these funds to keep it going for one more year. That's why we're only, at the moment, looking ahead only 1 year.
Thank you. All right. Any other feedback for Gabriela? What did you like? What are your pluses?
Hi.
Mercy, hi. Please go ahead.
Yes.
You have a question? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I know that time is ticking. I don't think I can type fast enough. I
Okay.
want to find out, where have you gotten previous funding?
Yeah, that's a good question. First, it was all run by IOG. When it was let go from IOG, we got funding for the past year from Catalyst. And we want now to be in the budget proposal, like in an official way, not just as part of budgeting, as marketing, as giving visual, just being visual to others this way. So that's why we're applying here.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Gabriela. I know we still have time. I'm just giving it a few seconds to see if anyone else wants to share their thought. And if not, the next pitch is by Laura under marketing, and I'm not sure if she's in the room. It's Membership and Community Committee, Global Community Hubs Expansion Program. All right, so let's see if Laura is in the room. If not, we have up next.
So just to
Yes.
confirm, that's the, I'm not sure why Laura would be tagged to that unless that's Laura, but neither of which are here. I can take that for MCC.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. It has a question mark, so valid question. It just said Laura question mark. So please go ahead. If you're ready, let us know. And
I will.
while you get ready, yes, take your time. While you get ready, I just want to remind folks in the room, there's a little small timer icon at the top right on the screen, which will change when we go into presenting. So you can see how much time is left for those presenting. Right now, it's the remaining time of the workshop, but it will change as a stopwatch once you're presenting. So let us know once you're ready.
Okay. Allow me to confirm, I believe it's this one that we're referring to.
Yes, let me just check. Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't know. I'll take the full 5 minutes here, but
Good.
excuse me. So this is from the Membership and Community Committee. They do have a Community Hubs working group. Now, as far as the structure of what that group is, that may change or alter, but basically they would have some levels of oversight in conjunction with the MCC. Essentially, what this is looking at is expanding the hubs. I believe the number was expanding to as much as 16, at least as of now. I don't have any of the slides or anything that goes along with it, but I do know that this was to be expanded across multiple other areas other than just some of the key focus areas which may be existent or known as of now. So a couple of plans for Africa, LATAM, I think maybe another one or two out in Asia there. But the full details I would definitely refer to here. There we go. Japan, LATAM, Sri Lanka, Africa, North America, and Europe there. So all of the details are here in the proposal. So as far as the 6, for anyone who is not familiar, those were rather successful over the last few over the last few months. They were so successful, in fact, that they were able to get an extension. So those hubs are still operating as it stands currently. These additional hubs are looking at going in addition to that. So actually, I believe this might be the current stats. But our hubs do a lot for us. They're definitely an important part of connecting the Cardano community with each other. And the main focus, as I understand it here, is prioritizing, as some other proposals are looking at as well, but on that local contact piece, and how do we work together to bring each other in. That's pretty quick. I apologize. I wasn't more read up on this one. I'm very familiar with it, but just not in detail from the presentation side. So I'll be more than happy to take my stab at any questions that are out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Tex. We're going back into the plenary. What are you curious about? What did you like? Please keep any questions. Raise your hands or put in chat. Also, Tex, if you have a link that you want to share or it's already shared, you can drop that in the chat as well. Keep it coming. Anything you're curious about this pitch? And just a reminder, Tex, you're still sharing your screen. Just, it's okay, but just so you're aware.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there any question from you, Nadia? I saw you came back on screen.
No, but I think Joe has one in the chat.
I just saw that popping up. Thank you. How are the budgets for each hub calculated, or is it a flat cost?
If my understanding is correct, I believe they were looking at flat costs and then also integrating APIs. But again, I may be missing on some of this here as well, where there are some ideas to get some of these hubs to be self-sustaining in a certain light. So I believe Sri Lanka was pretty good with that. Although all of the hubs did run out of their initial budget, I believe Sri Lanka was the one that did last the longest with their budget. So obviously different economies are going to play a factor in that, but there's also some goodness as far as how they're acting in a fiduciary capacity.
Thanks. Great, thanks. I hope that clarifies for you, Joe. Any other input from you, feedback? Something
I would
particular?
note that, to my understanding, there will be some additional membership and community committee, so MCC proposals. I will double check and try to drop them in chat if they did get posted today, but they may not have. So I do know that they are coming now.
Okay, great. Just for folks in the room, if you wrap up your thoughts later and you want to feedback on a certain proposal at a later time, please add the name either of the person presented or the proposal. We are synthesizing the chat afterwards, and it will help us get organized where which comment belongs to. And now, still some time if you have feedback, questions to text. Otherwise, just a heads up that the next one who's up for pitching is, not sure if she's in the room, Atsela, Business Growth and Marketing Infrastructure for Cardano. Do we have someone in the room presenting that? Natalia, wonderful. So if we do not have more questions, then let's go to the next proposal. Natalia, this I believe is the 6th proposal. And if my calculations are correct, we're good in time. And afterwards, that's the case, we will go into a break. So bear with us. Natalia, let us know when you're ready. We put up the timer.
Hola, hola. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, we can. And let us know when you want to start so we can. Yeah, go ahead, Natalia. You're live.
Okay, awesome. First, thank you for the opportunity to present our proposal. It's interesting because our proposal is in the intersection of innovation and marketing. So it's perfect for this category. So our proposal is called Business Growth and Marketing Infrastructure for Cardano. Let's see. Okay, so challenge. As it stands today, Cardano could allocate around 15 million for marketing in 2025. That is just the GMC proposal without accounting for hubs, what we just heard from the MCC. But how do we know which efforts are actually working? How do we measure impact and ROI in a decentralized ecosystem like ours? Traditionally, marketing is measured through analytic platforms that tracks impressions, clicks, conversions, and user engagement. These platforms such as Google Analytics, the Facebook ads, etc. So, as you know, here in Cardano, we like to do it better. So this is what we've been building for the last 3 years. Adalink is the Cardano's native solution, a blockchain-powered affiliate network that tracks real results, real marketing performance on-chain using Cardano itself, whether it's online, digital ads, influencer content, or offline community events. Adalink links each campaign to a unique referral ID, allowing us to track real conversions like new delegations for stake pool operators or token purchases. So real quick, how it works. A Cardano-based business launches a campaign. Affiliates, that's creators, marketers, event hosts, subscribes and receive a unique affiliate link that ties them to those campaigns. And when someone converts through that link, Adalink records it on-chain and distributes rewards automatically. No spreadsheets, no guesswork, just transparent performance-based marketing built on Cardano. So the benefits, real quick, for builders, tools to drive product adoption, launch campaign, and track marketing ROI transparently. For SPOs, again, campaign tools that reward affiliates based on the actual delegation those affiliates bring in. For marketers, is a new income stream through on-chain performance-based rewards. So it's performance-based. If they make those conversions, they get those rewards. And for the ecosystem, we will prepare a stronger pipeline of market-ready projects with proper branding and go-to-market strategy. So what this proposal entails, the goal of this proposal is to strengthen Cardano's marketing infrastructure while directly supporting ecosystem adoption and business growth. Through continued development of the Adalink platform and the launch of a business acceleration initiative in partnership with Business Atelier, an established business accelerator here in Puerto Rico, we create a strategic loop between platform development and the success of businesses that use it. So what the proposal delivers is a new campaign types. We will mirror what we've built for SPOs and build DREP campaigns tools, content management campaign tool, and we will develop a commission scoring system that will allow SPOs to launch campaigns with less amount of ADA. Because currently it requires a little bit of to create those campaigns. In terms for the business growth initiative, we will have 5 workshops, from a business readiness program we've developed, 5 group mentoring, and 3 marketing toolkits award delivered for each one of them. Delivered by Business Atelier, our partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Natalia, and good timing there. We are opening up for the room to give feedback to Natalia. And there is already a question from Nate in the chat. Is the platform live or still in MVP? Do you have a demo that people can try?
Yes, you can try it right now on Preview Testnet. It's just an MVP currently. We are pushing hard to launch it within the next 2 months.
Great, thank you. Also, Natalia, if you want to drop any links that are valuable for our viewers in the chat, you can do so either to your presentation or any other questions from the audience. What are you curious about? What do you like about this proposal? Oh, there is a question from Danielle. How could this be applied to the other marketing initiatives that may be funded?
That is an excellent question. And what is cool about Adalink is platform agnostic. You pretty much can use your affiliate link in whatever way you creative way you come up with. That is actually the point of utilizing the entire pool of affiliates. But one way, for example, the MCs, the people that get funded for events, let's say the MCC community members or whatever other event, they can generate a unique link, right? They become an affiliate, they generate a link, and anyone can create a booth in these events and let's say do an onboarding event. And as long as they onboard the person through those links and the person's either delegates to a stake pool, let's say you're teaching someone how staking works and or how a particular DApp, like let's say Palm Economy, you can say, hey, this is how you use this platform. Let's get you a Cardano wallet, let's onboard you. And then as long as they generate that conversion through that link, it gets registered on the blockchain on Cardano, that conversion came through that affiliate and that particular person. It doesn't matter where that person is on the world. We get it registered and we're using our own blockchain to do that.
Great. And then there's, I think we can have one more questions answered in the plenary. Who are some of the key categorical users you are anticipating you'll serve first? Question from Nadia in the chat. You have 1 minute and 40 seconds. Yes.
So users in terms of businesses, whatever business that have a token offering currently, can use the platform, and the SPOs can use the platform, as to hopefully two months from now when we hopefully launch. And if your DApp has an affiliate program already, you will be able to list your affiliate program on the Adalin platform to advertise that affiliate program to our pool of advertisers and affiliates. And affiliates, anyone that wants to promote Cardano can become an affiliate in our platform, generate their own affiliate link, share it, and get their commissions.
Let's see if are there similar sites elsewhere? Do you have a sense who your competitors are or who are in the same space? Maybe we have time for that.
Yes, in Cardano, there's nothing currently done this way on any blockchain that we know of. We've done market research. So we will be the first Web3 affiliate network. There are platforms that focus on marketing and engagement. And on Cardano, there's a Mallard Order, there's a Drumroll, I think it's the name, but they focus on engagement. We focus on conversion. So engagement is on the awareness, on the awareness level, and Adalink is more on conversions, the actual results.
Thank you. Well done. And it seems there has been some curiosity around your pitch. So there is another question that just came on. And I encourage you to answer those questions in the chat. Drop any links that you feel are relevant. The chat is there. We will now have a break. So we've done 6 pitches, and I think it's good to refresh ourselves from the screen. 10 minutes break. So let's say it's 22 after we come back here, and then we have another 6 pitches. Japan and Philippines are next. Is that okay with everyone? All right, so see you in 10 minutes. I asked my team, see you in the breakout. I stop recording. on mute. Mute is the new normal. Welcome back, everyone. And I think we need to restart recording. And so I'm doing that right now. Oh yeah, thank you. It's already done. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good break. We are now continuing, just a heads up, we'll go with Japan and Philippines. So in a second, for those of you who came in late, please rename yourself. Put your role next to your name. If you're a vendor or a DRep, my team is called VC. And we are next with Andy, you're already up there. Cardano Japan Renaissance. So let us know once you're ready. If you want to share slides, yeah.
Is my screen showing properly? Hi, everyone. Hi. Yeah, if so, I think I'm ready to start sharing our proposal.
Go ahead, you're live.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. I see the timer right now. So hi everyone, my name is Andy, and I represent the company Perfect Meta. We're a Web3 accelerator in Japan, and we've been supporting blockchain development in and out of Japan for the past 2.5, almost 3 years since our establishment. And today I want to present our proposal, which we named it Cardano Japan Renaissance. This is all on GothTool. And I'm going to go with the problem statement where we find there's still a need for better public awareness and perception for Cardano, while there's a majority of holders in Japan, and they've been here since 2015, 17, and they're still around in the community. We see that the population has not been growing much ever since, and there's not a lot of involvement from community members on building Cardano further in the Japanese society. And we also hear like claims like damage of reputation by like MLM tactics, delays, and stuff like that. And we believe that in order to build Cardano like properly, healthily, it's crucial that we have a stronger community in Japan. And that's why we decided to do this. And how to do that is that we find there's less developers or builders on Cardano on the tech stack compared to other ecosystems like Ethereum, not to say, but also like upcoming ones like Solana and even like other newer chains, newer layer ones. And we think it's such a waste, and we hope to improve that by involving more builders, involving more developers in our proposal. And then a third point would be partnerships with institutions and enterprises, because I think while users and developers, solo entrepreneurs are very important to the ecosystem as well, you really need those who have like a big backbone, who has like a lot of capital to deploy, and those who have like a lot of user base already to spread out the to spread out like the tech and also spread out the name of Cardano, and also like more media coverage, especially those who are probably not familiar with the technology. We see Emergo doing pretty well in Japan, but I think there is more to that we can do. And I've listed out things that we want to do on the fourth points that we've reached out. It's more about public awareness through like social media, of course, through our managed accounts, but also through like other influencers, other people who have a loud voice in the area, in the space, and also like involving more developers through like hands-on events where we go through the technology stack with them, how they can build things on there, and just to incentivize them with like hackathons and stuff. And also institutional partnerships with, of course, like Web3 players, but also like those who have like possibly a large group, a large team of engineers who are able to learn the tech and also deploy solutions. And of course, media, that's given to bring more to the public. And these are our what do you call it? these are our like benefits that we've listed, increased like developer adoption, so on and so forth, and then also like increasing public awareness, more visibility to institutions where they can build more on their own and also consider Cardano as a tech stack that they can build further. And yeah, just to bridge further to the global Cardano ecosystem and sustainable growth in general. I've been working with, about myself and also Pacific Meta, I myself have been working with the Intersect Japan Hub with Utah and the rest of the team. And also we've been talking to like Intersect actively on how to support the Japanese ecosystem further. I always see Sarah from Associates and people like people around in the community. And I think that we do need like younger and like outside power to support Cardano's growth, because it's not just about Cardano, it's about how we implement this tech to further grow the society and also how we bridge these gaps between the actual like overview we have attracting and coming in liquidity, tailored social media management, like cross marketing and partnership support. As I mentioned, how it's important to bridge things. I'll go over for the questions after this.
Spot on, Andy. Thank you for your presentation, opening up the room for the plenary. What are you curious about, knowing from Andy? What did you like about this proposal? Please keep your questions coming. Right. Any questions from you? Like some feedback. What did you like? What's of concern and what questions do you have? Thank you, Andy, for being on time.
No, thank you. I was expecting more questions on the proposal, and
Sorry,
is this
just
in
making
addition?
yes, is this in addition to the community hubs mentioned earlier from MCC?
It will be a separate proposal, but of course, I think it makes sense that we always connect with each other so that we make sure that we're not deploying additional resource for the same purpose. And I myself, I work with the Intersect Japan Hub as like an observer right now, and I've been trying to support Yuta and also Akio and also Yunya for their Yuri on their like activities in the Japanese in the Intersect Japan Hub, trying to learn more about the community and also like help support with like community initiatives the event. And I think that's the answer for that question. And sorry that it was a lot to read, but I wanted to make sure that we provide like insights on like we provide more detailed explanation of what our proposal actually means. And I think a short answer would be that we want to like rebrand Cardano so that like not only the existing holders, the existing community members can enjoy the community, but also for new builders, for new like holders to join and to like access information more easily. And is it okay if I just go on reading the questions from the meeting chat?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Nadia sent the question, where do you think is the greatest opportunity for growth here of the other components you've listed? I think the greatest opportunity for growth would be partnerships, be it with builder communities, be it with institutional or enterprise partners, or even like other blockchains, because I think like in the short term, you have only that many like holders, you have that many builders. It's not going to like grow like suddenly, but if you're able to work with other chains, other projects to build the ecosystem together, you have a much bigger force and it's a much healthier system. Also, like on the enterprise side, it's about getting not just like people who are trying to build things on their own, but also like enterprises who might be sincerely considering adopting blockchain solution to use Cardano as their their technology backbone. And of course for builders, because we need to keep building, because without any applications, the blockchain is just existing there for no for like limited utility available. So greatest opportunity, I think what we see least right now would be like enterprise adoption. And also like the what it called like collaborations with other chains is something that we don't really see, because like Cardano is Cardano, like other chains are other chains. Web3 seems like, I mean, Cardano is part of the blockchain technology, a part of like distributed ledger, a part of like Web3, but is it really connected with the other players in the space? I don't really feel that in Japan.
Great. Thank you, Andy. That was great interaction here. We have some few seconds, and I do not see any more questions in the chat. I would encourage you, if there's any more questions coming, you answer them directly in the chat. If you have any links you wanna add to presentations, you can also do so. We will now, thank you, Andy, move on to since we're already in the Pacific, we'll move on to Philippines. And the next project is called Philippine Cardano Community Re-onboarding Project and is being presented by James. James, hi, how are you?
Hello, hello. So it'll be a group presentation, I would say, myself and Nathan, since we're both present. Nathan will be giving a little bit more context. I'll be introducing the project and really reintroducing Nathan to the group.
Perfect. So let us know when you're ready so that we put up the timer, and you'll see the timer up top right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, ready to kick off. I'll just go ahead and thank everybody for participating in this conversation and for being here today. So I know we have people from all over the place. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, basically, I'd like to reintroduce someone whose commitment to Cardano isn't just rooted in an ideology, but he's lived the experience with years of hands-on community work. And that is, of course, my good friend over here, Nathan Knappe. He's not just another name in the ecosystem. He's one of the few that was on the ground when Cardano Philippines was at its peak. We'd say we had roughly 20,000 who were actively talking and building and onboarding others onto the chain. He was also one of the few that stayed when everybody else left. Now, our proposal, the Philippine Cardano Community Re-onboarding Project, isn't a theory. It's a response to a very real and an urgent need, reviving a once thriving community that has lost faith not in the tech, but in the follow-through. With this proposal, we're not talking about just meetups and booths. We're talking about reigniting a belief, rebuilding presence, and reconnecting with a community that still wants to build. They just need to know that Cardano hasn't forgotten about them. So on that note, I'd like to pass it over to Nathan to continue on as to why, and how important this is.
Hi guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. James has already led most of the discussions here. So for you guys of you that don't know me, I'm Nathan. I'm actually also working with Dave Talbot on Discover Cardano. Now, before I go anywhere further, I'd like to bring up why I brought up this proposal in the first place. It was originally when Britta flew in for the Constitution workshop. One of the things we had like almost 80 people that were signed up to go to the workshop. But then on the actual day itself, 12 people showed up. So it was an issue for me where I was like, why is nobody showing up? And the Philippine Cardano community, who seemed super excited to show up here, suddenly we're not there. So that was one of the things that I thought of. And the people that showed up actually to the constitutional workshop in the Philippines were saying, your event is very, very different from what we expected. Because every other event that we've gone through was basically just a party. They gave us free food. They showed us some flashy things. And we didn't realize how deep in Cardano governance is already happening. So that was like that was the first thing that led me to put this proposal. The second thing was I'm working with Dave on Discover Cardano, and we're trying to get more global onboarding community things going on. We want everywhere around the world. That's a separate proposal. But what actually finally finalized my pitch was when I met Tai Chi from the Japan community, Tai Chi Yokohama, and I met Oscar Hong from the Korean community. And I was just there as an observer for Discover Cardano, but they told me, we want to really hear about the Philippine community. And I was like, really? You guys want to hear about this? And so suddenly I was like, all right, three different people, like the Philippine community wanted me to do this, Dave wanted me to do this, and like the Japan, Korean community asked me to do this. So finally I put up my submissions. So I have 2 minutes left. I'm going to make this very brief for you guys. I just want to show that, 1 second, let me show my screen. Yeah, screen share. Okay, this is my proposal, Cardano Community Re-onboarding. You guys can just read it here. I kept it very short, and this is the aid that we are requesting. Here are the links that you guys can follow. So this is very on the ground. Like there's no fluff, there's no anything. You can see one by one each budget item, everything, including daily transportation. That includes flights to different parts of the Philippines. So we'd be flying in to Mindanao, to Visayas, all over the place. And me also, I'd be flying from Korea, as I'm based here now, to the Philippines to hold these things. But most of them, hopefully, will be held by the Philippine community once we have re-engaged them into this. So James will be taking the lead here. As for one of the questions posed here under comments was asking, was there really 20,000 people back in the community back then? I was like, yes. So here are some of the people. Just for example, Happiness Philippines, they're a resort that at one point wanted Cardano to get in, and they were contacted by some people, but nothing happened. So there's also Streets of Ada. This is a, as you can see, right, NGO. They're followed by Palm Economy also. So they do exist in the Philippines. This is another one, Ada Atlantic. It was a marine conservation thing. Anyway, there's a very huge Philippine community which has mostly lost faith in our ecosystem. And I guess really want to bring them back to Cardano because, I mean, we've done so much, but in the Philippines, everybody just doesn't know what we're doing anymore. So you can read the budget yourself. You can read the proposal yourself just for that. So that's all I wanted to say.
Spot on with timing, Nathan and James. Thank you so much for your pitch. And I'm opening the floor for your feedback. And we already have a question here too from Mercy. Thanks, Nathan and Dave. The MCC has a Cardano Hub program. Any chance to align with that initiative?
Hey, Mercy. Actually, I was asking Kavinda about that. So he's actually, I'm on another discussion with him on regarding that. I'm not sure what exactly is happening with the MCC. So I'm still waiting on Kavinda to get back with that. But I would love to partner with anyone if we could just get my country back into the whole system, you know, the ecosystem.
Just to add on to that, I mean, I feel that really what we're trying to do is Nathan and I were present last year in Argentina and Kenya, respectively, and we see that there's so much potential for bringing the Philippine community into the world stage. And that's where we're lacking. You know, we feel that there is that Filipino multiplier effect. You onboard one person, they're going to onboard their family, everyone else, and it's going to be 1:5. It expands, etc. If the idea is to get more transactions on chain and just basically bring on more people into this ecosystem, you know, we see that there is a big opportunity here, and that's why we want to do boots on the ground, have these events in person, and not just behind the screen. This is great. I love being able to interact with everybody, but we want to be right there with people.
Right. Thank you. Any more questions or something you liked about this proposal? Some feedback, raise your hand or put it in the chat. Also, Nathan and James, if you have any additional links you want to share apart from the GovTool listing, please feel free. Here, there you go. Thank you for that. Oh, so we have some input from Juan here. Pluses, reviving a dormant but large market. Grassroots, local first approach, highlights real local projects, reforestation, farming conservation, and community-specific needs. Key for cultural relevance and genuine adoption. Deltas, like specifics on how re-onboarding will be done. Question, what does success look like? Rejoin rates, event attendance, social metrics.
James, do you want to take this or would I?
Yeah, so we can both. I'll jump in first, just very quickly. Success is, in this case, it can be somewhat subjective. We're more qualitative, but trying to put those quantitative numbers on it. Definitely, event attendance is a crucial thing. People need to know that there is something going on. I mean, we see that, as Nathan mentioned, even though we're talking about the Cardano ecosystem, even we had 60 plus signups, we had roughly, less than 5-10% show up. So we want to make sure that we have an active community by putting these things out and getting people to show up. Social metrics is great, but it's a vanity metric as far as I'm concerned. And lastly would be, success rejoin rates. We know we don't want to commit to numbers because that's a tough one. But we can do percentage points. Of the people that show up, how many people do we get back on board? I think that would be better than trying to look at the original number of 20,000. And Nathan, if there's anything else you'd like to add.
Yeah. Event attendance, honestly, one of the issues we've had is that in overall, the Philippines has a very active blockchain space, but there's no Cardano events. So as far as people are concerned, it's a meme coin. I'm sorry to say. In the Philippines, Cardano is considered just another meme. So, we really want to bring back the awareness of that there are things like this that exist, that we have a serious community, we have a government, most people don't even know that we were in the Constitution, that the Philippines was there. Yeah. There's a Philippine flag. It's crazy. So yeah, do we answer the next question too? Yeah, from Nadia. Yeah, really, I think it's really about us having to attend and show up there because Philippine people are very visual. Like they don't care what's written down. They have to see that you're there to actually be like, are you serious about our country? Do you care about us? If you're not there, they're just like, it's just words. So I think we're almost out of time. James, would you like to add to that?
No, representation matters. Just to wrap that one up, Nadia, is like, I think that by being consistent, showing that we're here, then we're going to get people to get back excited about it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being time conscious. So this was spot on. Thank you. And it looks like there is some curiosity around this pitch. So keep it coming. Feel free to continue answering questions in the chat if they are coming. And we would like to invite the next pitch. I'm moving on here, just being conscious of time. And the next pitch is by Jeremy, Global Brand Strategy, Creative Campaign, and Global Creative Asset Catalog. I am not sure, is Jeremy in the room? Yeah, here, right in front of me. Okay, JB. All right, are you ready for your pitch?
Yeah, ready to go. Danielle, thank you for moderating the session today. Appreciate that. Thanks to the colleagues on the line. Tex, Natalia, Juan, Martin, thanks for representing the GMC. So I'll pull it up now.
Yes, let us know when you're good to go live and we'll pull up the timer. You'll see it change in the top right.
Yeah, I think good to go now, provided you can see my screen and everything.
We can. Go ahead, you're live.
Cool, thank you. So what I'm about to show you is a case study demonstrating the brand component of the budget that Martin outlined that was proposed by the Growth and Marketing Committee. And in its simplest form, this is what Cardano and so many brands in Web3 are missing that we would like to inject into the 2025 marketing program. So what I have here is a case study by IBM, very, very, very technical B2B brand. And the campaign for IBM is called Let's Build a Smarter Planet. You'll see the IBM logo at the bottom. It's been the same for about 70 years. They might want to update it eventually, but the point is that when we talk about brand, when we talk about creative campaigns, we're not going to be changing the Cardano logo or the colors or the fonts or anything like that. It's making sure that every single marketing initiative in the roughly $13 to $15 million Cardano budget builds brand equity back to Cardano through a campaign, and that Cardano captures that equity, because the alternative is doing events over here, doing social media over here, doing community over here, and having the impact of that not translate to the Cardano master brand. Just like in this example, had you not had a creative campaign, Let's Build a Smarter Planet, the equity of all these different things would have not gone up to IBM and built that master brand equity. So you can think of it as a bank that captures equity versus letting equity sort of spill out onto the street. So we know Let's Build a Smarter Planet, perhaps. If not, I'll explain it. But that's the creative campaign, the equivalent of Nike, Just Do It, etc. The way that this campaign translated, because IBM was up against all of the different consultancies that were doing IT, cloud computing, data analysis, etc. This campaign was about 7, 8 years old, so it's a little bit dated. But you see smarter cities over here. You see smarter questions on the bottom. You see small business on the bottom. You see the food supply chain on the bottom right. You see on the top right, clean energy. You see African skills in the center. And all of these different things, and you can see how this relates to what Cardano wants to do in the coming year. All of these different things all over the world were all brought together by the idea of let's build a smarter planet. The most famous one of these initiatives that's still around today and doing quite well is Watson. People think Watson, the IBM avatar for AI, which was around a long time before AI is as in vogue as it is today, was cool because it was Watson and it was a cool creative idea. That's true, but the important thing to know about Watson is that Watson was actually part of Let's Build a Smarter Planet, all the things going on this slide, which was then tied up to here, Let's Build a Smarter Planet IBM. So the reason Watson was so successful is not that it was a cool creative idea, it's that it went back up all the way to here. So you have here, then you have here, then you have here, here, back to here, back to here. That's why this works so well. I have 40 seconds left. I will tell you that Watson was not just here. Watson won Jeopardy. Watson wrote songs with Bob Dylan. Watson picked American football better than I did as it related to fantasy. Watson picked the Grammys. So what we're recommending here with the last 13 seconds is that whatever we do from a Cardano brand perspective, you don't just need your Watson, you need Watson to fit in really well to the creative. Am I out already? Really?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. Sorry for the hard stop, just keeping it fair and timely. And any questions, any curiosity from the plenary, please keep them coming. We have 5 minutes. What? Oh, okay. So there is a question from Juan. Would be great to see clear deliverables and timelines. Okay, that's not a question, that's feedback. And also a super love the focus on strategic coherence. Please bring your questions in so we can answer them in the time slot. What are you curious about? Oh, there's a question. How does this fit with the GMC master plan?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Go ahead. It's your time.
So first, I would encourage everybody to read the GMC master plan, and thank you to Martin for sort of giving the umbrella description of it. But essentially, the GMC master plan contains this, and then it contains channels. So therefore, social media, community, Discord, etc., events, etc. And this would be the thing that ties everything together, just like the IBM example. We can do events in Africa, we can do things about clean energy, we can do the food supply chain. But what we're talking about here in terms of the master brand campaign is really the thing that makes everything fit together. And therefore, every single thing that is done under the budget feeds equity back into the master brand. Versus it's the difference between something being the total of the whole versus the sum of the parts, if that makes sense. So that's where it fits in.
Thank you. All right. And then there's a question from Juan. What is the total budget and how will funds be allocated?
The total marketing budget, to the best of my understanding, and I am an SME, so I do not, have the latest and greatest on that. That's for the committee and the DReps. I believe it's something like $13 million out of the total budget allocation is going to marketing. And I do know that everything is broken down in the master budget according to work streams.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Joe. Doesn't the Cardano Foundation own the master brand?
This is a little bit above my pay grade. What I understand, and if anyone from the Cardano Foundation is on the line, you can correct me. I understand that they own the trademark for Cardano and the logo, etc. In terms of owning the master brand, I think that's a bit of a broader question. And really, it's reflective of, again, as I understand it, what does the community want to do as expressed through the DReps? So it's less about the logo and it's more about how does Cardano want to go to market, is my understanding.
Okay, thank you for that. I see if we have anyone here, you can maybe reply to that in the chat because we have another question. Allow that. How are you planning to listen? This is a question from Mercy. How are you planning to listen to the Cardano community to inform a rebrand?
Great question. And when we say rebrand, again, the IBM logo in the example that I shared is the same as it's been for the last 70 years. So I would not, it's not changing the name Cardano, it's not changing the logo. It's really how that brand is represented through creativity. In terms of how we're planning to listen, should we be lucky enough to do the work? It would be a couple different ways. Number one, it would be interviewing a lot of people from the Cardano ecosystem, just basic market research, to ensure that whatever we're doing creatively is true to the brand. And then in addition to that, ultimately, everything in the marketing budget or the GMC budget, pardon me, is going to be subject to oversight from the community. So ideally, there's listening on the front end and accountability on the back end to make sure that everything is being translated in a way that works for the community.
All right, thank you so much, Jeremy. There's a question. Is there one GTM to rule them all? We have 10 seconds.
One GTM to rule them all. I have no time left, but no. And
Good.
on total bond of ADA is about less than 10% of the overall budget, depending on the currency you're using.
All right, thank you. Spot on. So you can also answer them in the chat. while we're continuing, so not a problem. I will now move to the next pitch, which is, and I know she's in the room, by Nadia, and the pitch will be crypto fluency, increasing Cardano ecosystem liquidity through multifaceted marketing engagement campaigns. She's put the link in the chat. Nadia, let us know when you're ready, and we put up the time for you.
Let me make sure I said the right thing. All right, guys, it is 2 minutes from midnight for me, so I'm going off script, and you're just going to get the story off script. I think I'm ready.
Let us know. You ready? Okay, good to go. You're live.
Okay, so this proposal is resolving the challenge of liquidity on Cardano. We don't have enough. And liquidity resolves a lot of things, just like funds resolve a lot of things. When you have liquidity in an ecosystem, it means that someone has trust, and we've earned that trust with that person or institution. And that really fuels a lot of different things that are happening in the ecosystem. And so a challenge with marketing for us as an ecosystem is that just because someone is introduced to something or hears about Cardano, that does not mean that they are going to go and do something about it. And our team has really found over almost 8 years now of educating, at this point, probably thousands of people, some very intimately and some more broadly, that the way to do that is to come alongside them over a period of time so that they can deepen their engagement in the ecosystem. So this is going to solve these roadmap goals. I gave you guys the slides there, so I'm not going to read out everything, but you can check it out. These are the things that we're going to do: make it more recognizable, attract DApps. These are right out of the roadmap. Just an introduction to our team's credentials. So these are the things that are specific to our team. And as an overview, a lot of engagement since our start with Cardano in 2018. We really have tried to engage ourselves in everything in the ecosystem, from voting in Catalyst to participating in ISPOs to being in the DeFi world from the origin of that when DApps first started to be released. I got to be the delegate from Philadelphia to the Constitution. So our team has a lot of experience in the ecosystem. And that, paired with a lot of experience talking to people and teaching people about Cardano, has led us to partnerships with some of these great, I would say, like giants of our ecosystem. So these are some of the teams with whom we're partnering right now on our current educational initiatives. And the other thing that we've learned is that there's really only a few different kinds of people when you come to teach someone about Cardano. There's people who have no experience yet, so they are in any level of, I heard about FTX and I think it's all gambling, to I bought some, or my neighbor bought some, but I don't feel good about it. So a whole spectrum there. Then there's people who are invested in crypto, but not in Cardano. So they have some random exchange and they don't really know what the password is, all the way to people in Cardano who are long-term Cardano people, or maybe short-term Cardano people, but they aren't necessarily participating in certain things like decentralized finance or governance because they just don't quite get it yet, or they feel apprehensive about it. So the goal of this proposal is to really cater to all three of those categories in very specialized ways by anticipating what their capabilities, opportunities, and motivations are. So we're going to really ascertain that. Could go deeper into this, but I'm just going to leave it there and say, when a group or an individual or a cohort comes to us, we're going to take the time to understand where they're at so they can really be put into the right path that makes the most sense for them. And then we are part of this proposal is we're designing project-based, so goal-based learning, not here's a curriculum and go through it, but you eventually want to do a wallet and here's what you need to do that. Or you want to do money lending and borrowing, here's what you need. Or you want to vote in Catalyst, here's what you need. The outcome is the purpose for the learning. And so people are brought deeper into the ecosystem in a fluid way. And this slide represents that. So whether it's a person like the girl on the left, or whether it's an actual group of people, could be a group of students at a university, could be we're talking to a group in New Zealand. It's like a larger group that is their own collective that would like to just take this kind of an engagement together. Regardless, they're going to start somewhere and go deeper and then perpetually do that over time. So here in this example, this represents, I want to really make this clear because I didn't do this as well last time. This person could connect all these different people. This happens with us, right? So we think, okay, oh yeah, my firm should know about this. My church group should know about this. My X number of people should know about this, my institution. Or a cohort might come in and the cohort might actually bring it into the deeper place. So, or this person could become, as a result of this, a cohort leader, and that will perpetuate the process of teaching. So it will actually raise up people within the ecosystem who will then lead cohorts and deepen that experience as well. In my last 5 seconds, I'll just point out that we're really going to be focused on marketing, running the programs, and then running retrospectives so that you have a whole picture.
Thanks. Sorry
And
for the hard cut. Time's up, Nadia. Thank you. Keeping it fair for all. So opening the room for your curiosity. What are you curious about and what feedback do you have? Raise your hand or put it in the chat, please. Thank you, Nadia. You're still sharing your screen, I believe, just so you're aware. It's okay for us. There you go.
There we go.
No problem. Any pluses? All right, there you go. So can curious people use any of the platforms to access your content?
Yeah, great question. So as I mentioned in here at somewhere, we were funded in Fund 13 for Catalyst to work with these different partner groups. So that's Ondomio, Olympus Insights, Stuff.io to print workbooks as DEAs and wisdom courses. And we are developing models through that proposal. And those different kinds of models will give people exposure at the institution level and at the individual level to those different platforms. So yes, we're thinking that depending on what the best learning environment and qualities of a learning process are for a cohort or for an institution, those we will tailor those so that they are experiencing it in a way that makes the most sense. For example, if they need an official credential, like a university would upon completion, or if they really want to focus on learn to work, so that, for example, they might create so maybe someone wants to create viable interns for their group. You might create a project within there that would have a cohort that would learn in that way. So you could really tailor it, and that ability to tailor will give us a great ability to market to different institutions and organizations broadly.
Thank you. Thank you, Nadia. And here's a question from Danielle. How do people find your content? Aka, what's the top of the funnel, and is this part of the proposal?
Yeah, multiple ways. So one of them is just by virtue of being on these different platforms, like Olympus Insights, I think just passed like 20,000 users. So and Wisdom Courses, the same. I think they're like around 10. So the locations themselves where those courses are offered are already hubs for people who are looking for content. But I think, for example, in my conversations about this proposal, just with people in the Cardano ecosystem, I'm continuously finding people like, can you bring that to our group? And I have a bunch of people who would like that, or my team would benefit from that. And so depending on which of those audiences it is, if it's an audience within the Cardano ecosystem, you could build it based on a team or on a collective. And then the marketing part of this initiative, so that's internal. And the marketing part of this is going to be, we have a member of our team who's 20 years in recruiting, and he's just going to make calls targeted all day long, pretty much, about making new relationships for organizations where they already have access to larger audiences.
Hey, one more. I think we can take one. Great proposal. Crypto Fluency supports the goal of bringing in new liquidity, but it's unclear how success will be measured. What specific KPIs like wallets or audience reach will you track? Who will execute?
Yeah, this is a really important question, because we were talking about this today, actually. What is the value of like bringing someone in who gets deeply invested? is it more valuable to have 10 wallets, or is it more valuable to have someone who builds a min swap? Like those qualities of people who participate are really important to monitor beyond the qualitative. So we have a guy on our team who is a data guy, and he builds analytics and the ability to join information from different areas. So we're going to really focus on that. We're already doing some of that in this current proposal. So I think that we are going to continue to evolve the answer to that question, but certainly we can do basic quantitative things like wallets, exposure, posts, and things like that. For me, it would be important that we also really measured the value of engagement and the value of the relational growth for the ecosystem, because the people who've come here and stayed and who have really participated, understanding why that happens is as much a part of the opportunity of this proposal as the volume of onboarding.
Spot on, time-wise. Thank you so much. We are looking, yeah, so you can also check the chat, Nadia, there's some stuff there. And we are now going to the next pitch. Sorry if I'm rushing, but just want to make sure that everyone gets to pitch, and that is Amplify Cardano, which is going to be represented by Rare Network, Waze, or Evan. Are you in the room? Please voice yourself. Yes, there you are, right in front of me.
Here.
Yes.
Alarm going off to make sure I'm not asleep. So good
yep.
time. I'll go ahead and get my presentation here shared and begin.
So good. This is Amplify Cardano Community-Led Events Fund by Rare Network.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Wes Parkinson. I'm a co-founder of Rare Network. Many of you know us from our flagship annual conference, Rare Evo, which evolved out of the first real Cardano community conference. And now it's one of the top US multi-chain conferences in the industry. We're here today to propose the Community-Led Events Fund, which is very much aligned with the budget outlined with the GMC. There is a slot for community-led events. And why is this important now? It is important now because we are drastically behind, I would say, when it comes to community-led events and an event strategy in general for a layer one blockchain in comparison to our other competitors, both L1s as well as L2s in the top 20. I like to put it as Cardano's a top 10 blockchain. However, there are top 20 or top 30 blockchains that have a much larger budget and higher frequency of events occurring throughout the year. Why are we the right team as Rare Network? Well, we've been building in the Cardano ecosystem for going on 5 years, originating as a stake pool and growing our business into really the premier events and media production company within the Cardano ecosystem. We have 7 full-time employees coming out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with another handful of employees that help us work for our development. So we are definitely geared up to take on this role as really administering and project managing the events that come out of this community-led events fund. You can see that we have a vast network of customers and partners, a predominant showcasing of Cardano startups, as well as the founding entities as our larger partners throughout the year between marketing campaigns, side events, and their participation at Rare Evo. We've thrown over 10 socials across multiple continents the past 3 years, where we average 300 to 600 guests at each social. We've had over 11,000 people register with an email list going past 20,000 emails. So we've gathered a lot of information. We've produced events from Rare Evo, that is over $1 million event, to six-figure budgets, to five-figure, down to smaller events. So we're able to really assess a project's budget request, determine if it is a fair use of funds, and better determine if the project itself is capable of proper execution and maintaining brand integrity to showcase Cardano. We were able to have a great success with a very similar program for the Catalyst Fund 12 working groups. So we project managed and distributed funds to host over 15 in-person events globally and another 12 virtual events, with the main launch happening in Barcelona, which was hosted in person with over 100 guests. So very much ready to take on another round of project management for community-led events. The challenge is that there are existing funds, but they're not exactly practical for events. We've had great success with Project Catalyst, but in the Open Ecosystem Grant Fund, it's not so, I would say, tailored to events or flexible. We've had to front, $75,000 for our side events and then make that money back retroactively. And for projects that don't have working capital and have people to pay, that is very hard. So what is the solution? Basically, from July 1st to March 31st, we'll have an open events fund of $500,000 where projects can request anywhere from $500 to throw, let's say, like more a pizza party style at a college with a guest speaker, all the way up to a $30,000, let's say, side event at a major conference to showcase the Cardano ecosystem. So it gives us a lot of variety and a proper group to administer and report back all of the successes from the grant program.
Great. Thank you, Wes. That was spot on regards of timing and presentation. Thank you so much. Please, folks in the room, share your feedback. What is it that you liked about this proposal from Wes and team? And what are you curious about? Raise your hand, put your thoughts in the chat. And I believe there have been some links shared by Wes. You can also follow up there.
That's correct.
Okay.
And similarly to the events fund, we also have a community-led marketing fund, which is very similar and has its own deck as well for reference.
All right, questions are coming in. Do we have to use Rare Evo branding on our local events?
Absolutely not. These can be for, I would say, promoting a project that's being built on Cardano or promoting the general Cardano ecosystem. Absolutely no Rare branding is needed anywhere.
Hey, what elements have your team found are the most productive and engaging? Question from Nadia.
Yeah, I think being able to mirror your exposure online at your IRL event, your in real life event, is just as important as engaging with the people that are there in the physical and attendance. So we always like to have some sort of strategy that gets people to post on X or their socials about the event occurring. So you get double the promotion, both at the event as well as online. We'll do that through a merch giveaway or some sort of contest, or giving someone the ability to sign up and then make a post about the event.
And then there's another question from Joe. Will you be supplying templates for event organizers? Sorry, now questions are rolling in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we could definitely get to the point where we're providing people with the proper media kits so they have the highest quality, logo files and things like that. Definitely taking into account in people's budgets that digital and physical signage is needed for an event's production. And so if that was a line item in a budget, that would be something that we totally expect to see and find appropriate for an event. So we will be distributing funds that could be used for print signage, absolutely. And we can definitely help with some of the brand's standardization.
Sorry to interrupt you. So here's an interesting question from Min. What is the appropriate range of attendees that one's proposal might be approved?
Really, I think, any number is healthy. It just depends on the budget. If you're a university student and you want to start up a Web3 club and you think you can grow it from, 5 to 10 to 15 to 30 people on a monthly basis, that will suffice. So I don't think there's any particular minimum attendance that we're looking for it to qualify. We understand everywhere everyone starts somewhere.
Hey, question from Joe again. Will this tie into the master brand strategy pitched earlier?
Yeah, we will definitely align with the GMC. We'll be having monthly meetings with them to report our successes, report what projects we're intending to approve, and make sure that there's no clash with existing projects. And if there is, how can, those projects join forces and work together to get more value and less redundancy?
And then here's a long question from Juan. I take it and split because I don't know about time. How will this integrate with community-driven initiatives already underway?
I think it's more so about how we promote the ability to apply for funds, funds from this fund program, and making sure that the global community is aware that they have the ability to apply. And then from there, we'll get a diverse set of applications for us to make sure that we have that true, global exposure covered.
And then the next split was about the community-led branding efforts in Latin Africa and Asia, and how will this global strategy honor and elevate existing localized efforts without becoming top-down or one-size-fits-all? I don't think we have time, but go ahead.
I would say we've got $500 to $30,000 budgets, and this grant is open to anyone across the globe that is a part of the Cardano ecosystem.
Good.
So there's no one size fits all. It's
Thanks.
Very flexible.
Good. Sorry, hard cut here. I encourage you to answer this in the chat. We will synthesize everything as we said before. There's a question from Danielle as well. You might want to answer in the chat, and we are moving on with our next pitch, which is Laura. We have 3 lined up. The next one will be Cardano Summit 2025 and Regional Tech Events by Cardano Foundation. Laura, are you in the room?
Hi guys. Yeah, I'll be presenting on behalf of Laura today.
Okay, just a second, Nate. You're still sharing with your screen.
Okay.
Right, Nate, let us know when you're ready. We put the timer up. You got 5 minutes.
Okay, 1 second. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, and you are live. Here you go.
Okay, perfect. So today we're talking about the Cardano Summit. So I think a lot of people on this call would have been to a summit, whether at the main flagship event or a virtual event. So this proposal is based on the 2025 summit and how it's actually going to be a bit different this year. So as we know, as we stepped into the age of Voltaire, the idea is to embrace decentralization and community participation. With the summit, how does that change? Well, typically there's a flagship summit with virtual events. And actually, the way it will change in 2025 is there will be one flagship summit in Germany, which will host about 800 people. And then there'll be 4 other regional events. Not regional summits per se, but regional events in the forms of hackathons and developer-focused events. So if I just go from left to right, it will start with Cardano Dev Days in Vegas, which is hosted by Rare Evo. A second would be Cardano Africa event, which is done by WADA. 3rd, there's a Cardano Dev Day in LATAM. So you can see the idea is to cover the globe from a regional perspective. And then the flagship summit, which will be in Germany. This will be, and I think most people have a lot of commentary about this, so I'm going to explain it. The cost of the summit will be reduced by around 50% from the previous summit. However, we will still maintain 800 plus people, the Battle of the Builder, the summit day 1 and 2, and the awards and the experience. And then lastly, Cardano Hackathon in India, which will target around 300 developers alongside India Blockchain Week. So in summary, we're looking at 1 flagship event in November, and 4 regional events, which I had described. And the KPIs are very specific to the attendees target, getting the speaker target, and ensuring that we have enough sessions so that we can align everything with the Cardano roadmap to ensure that we're amplifying what we're doing, but also bringing in new entrants into Cardano, such as developers, and showcasing the growth that we've had. There's a need for education, collaboration, and growth, and it's very much encapsulated in this summit. So this is the way the new summit will be done. And I guess there's just a few seconds left, so I'll just say why do we do it? Well, the first thing is we need to drive blockchain adoption across globally, not just in Dubai, for example. Secondly, we need to promote education and advance the infrastructure, whilst also engaging a global ecosystem. And lastly, which is now the reason why we're on this call, and a large part of this year, is governance discussions. We need to have face-to-face. We need to have very strong discussions about decision making and community participation. This is essentially a hub for that. So I think we've covered it in these slides, but happy to open up to any questions. I think I'll just caveat that I'm stepping in for Laura on this. So if there's any questions that are specific to the summit or Genesis funds, then please, I won't be able to answer those, but we will be able to get back to you with any answers that we can come back on.
All right, thank you, Nate. And the floor is open for your questions and feedback, of course. So please keep it coming, and thanks for staying here with us until the end. We have 2 more pitches to come. Please bring in your curiosity. What are you curious about regarding the Cardano Summit pitch? And there we are going here. Is there an idea of the countries for the 4 summits? Question from Juan.
Good question. I believe it's still in planning. At the top, if you can see this slide, so we've got Las Vegas, Nairobi, Brazil, and Argentina. So that's still TBC, and then Berlin and Bangalore. So I would say everything's confirmed, except it's still deciding whether it's Brazil or Argentina under the LATAM part.
Great. And then Min is asking to share the link to your presentation.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep the questions coming. Any more questions to Nate and the Cardano 2025 Summit presentation? Any feedback? What did you like about it? Giving it a few minutes to get folks wrapped up with their thoughts. Okay, there's a comment from Nadia. It's exciting to see such a spread of locations across the calendar. Yes. What brings that up for you folks? Any questions? Anything that you're curious about? If not, I suggest to move on to the next pitch.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nate. And of course, oh, there's a question. Who's responsible for regional coordination and how will success be tracked across different regions? We can take that. We had some time.
Yes. Regional coordination is done by the Cardano Foundation.
Right. Great. Good. So next is for Leonard, and I know you're in the room. I've seen you. Application level message protocol on Cardano. And then we have one more pitch, which is by Sander. I hope you're in the room after this. Leonard, let us know when you're ready. There you go.
Yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so application level message protocol. Hope you can hear me. What is it? Well, at the moment, we largely use Ouroboros for blockchain critical communications. This is advocating the use of an application level message protocol, which shifts the conversation to tooling and to allow applications to build conversation embedded into Cardano, leveraging existing technology, SPOs, stateful operators, relay nodes, and wallet endpoints. We're optimizing for governance, so to and fro conversations, marketing campaigns, the ability to broadcast point to point and engage and take feedback immediately. We see this as being a way to bring communities, increase adoption, and increase conversation and potential revenue generation. What could it look like? So typically, the ability to embed this call on anything, marketing DApps, integrate communication, so that is effectively embedded chat and social within your application, and also to broaden the ability for DeFi apps to have a back and forth conversation with the community. No, okay, well, it matters because surveys show that communication has a higher retention rate of up to 35% versus other applications. The longer you can communicate with people, build a community, retain them, one-to-one communities or groups within your application retains value. We're at a good point. We've just gone live with Age of Voltaire, Plum and Chang hard forks have the ability to improve developer experience, focusing on social apps and express two-way opinions. I've also embedded the fact that we've now got zero knowledge available to us, which means that what we could expose, what we were afraid to expose previously, we can now wrap it up in a proof, send authentication so both parties can be aware of that and we can advance the depth of our application. Why are we the right team? Well, been building on Cardano for nearly 4 years. Worked myself at IHK, multiple hard forks, working with up to 40 DApps, experience in building community. Voltaire is an example. Experience building on Web3, including protocols, wallets, full node, and working cross-chain. Architectural experience in building protocols and for high-frequency trading and for automated market makers. So we've got good experience. What's it good look like? At low level, we would leverage Ouroboros Genesis. We'd also add a new distributed hash table layer to empower more peer discovery, add encryption, and ultimately leverage SPOs, relays, wallets. What does good look like from the high level? Well, the high level, really, it's all about having SPOs, encryption, wallet endpoints, social, DeFi, and more wallets. All good. What does it enable? Broadcasting, campaigns, governance, communication protocols, agentic AI, new area of chat, secure P2P. And why is it worth the cost? Well, governance we know is worth the cost. We want to get people engaged on the platform, social use cases, positive experience, broadcasting, governance campaigns, Cardano growth, dedicated protocol, and give the DApps the opportunity to build monetizable services, including gaming and micropayments. TLDR, DApps with communication of high retention, or community experience on Cardano is changing. Super apps are coming, and an application communication protocol is needed. I am done.
Okay, you're done speaking. Thank you so much, Leonard. And I am now opening up the floor for the community to shoot any questions and feedback into the chat or raise your hand. I know it's late for some and it's early for others. Please keep your thoughts coming. We have one more proposal, and I appreciate you for being here. Yes, there's a question from Danielle. Does this have any impact on the blockchain itself? Example, if it scales, will it impact congestion on the blockchain?
No, it won't. It would be a protocol that can sit alongside other protocols. It would actually leverage, utilize Genesis for discovery, but additional discovery would handle itself. So it would not introduce congestion on the blockchain.
Okay, great, thanks. Anything else that you are curious about? One had a comment, a bit technical for some DReps to understand. That was just a comment. Any other questions? Feedback? Positives? What did you like?
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Leonard. I'm giving it a little bit more time to see if folks want to come up with any thoughts. Sometimes needs some wrap up. Any input from the community? Okay. So it looks like there are no more questions. And with that, oh, there's a question. Why can't this be done? This communication protocols used elsewhere.
It's a good question. First of all, peer discovery is intermingled with Ouroboros Genesis. So the advance of Genesis plus having our own proofs is native to Cardano. So if we start to transmit more sensitive information where we need the proofs within our own ecosystem, this is the right place to do it, Danielle. On top of that, in terms of the dApps themselves, we are using our own wallets, so transactions it is permissionless in that if you need a wallet to be onboarded here. So we're trying to leverage that wallet technology, whether that's full node, whether it's software wallet. So the transactions, they will be transmitted on chain, but they won't necessarily provide any weight to the chain and any blockage. So there's a symbiotic relationship, and clearly it has value cross chain if you have the types of signatures enabled. And we've recently gone live even with RIP and MD from Bitcoin. So on Cardano, so potentially you could have a Bitcoin wallet communicating with a Cardano wallet, which again is sensible based on our alignment with Bitcoin.
And there is another question. How will the proposal gain traction beyond technical users? What strategy is planned to reach non-tech DReps?
In fact, if we go back up to the picture here, the goal here is actually to bring the communication to all facets of Cardano. So whether it's a governance app, whether it's marketing, broadcasting a snapshot, and somebody responding to it and say, I will go to the event. So it's in terms of bringing it to non-DRep users, I really think it's more about providing a layer which we are not terribly good at the moment. We're really good at engineering. We're not terribly good at building great super apps. In communication, this layer makes it easy for folks to build an app integrated quite quickly with a communication protocol, and ultimately takes away the hard work. And that's why it's really providing that substrate, which gives you the ability for all of these apps to do a lot more on our ecosystem than, say, for example, on competitor ecosystems.
Spot on. And there we are. Time is up for Q&A. And Yes, can you put the stack, Leonard? There's a question. Can you put the stack? So time's up, and any questions coming in, please keep them coming because Leonard can still answer them in the chat. And with that, I'm looking for the last pitch. I'm not sure if someone is in the room. Last pitch is Cardano, Killer Whale Show and Media Partnership. Cardano versus Killer Whale Show and Media Partnership, and it's Sander or someone else in the room to, yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
All right, go ahead. Last
Good.
pitch.
Okay.
Let us know when you're ready. You have a timer at the top right. You get 5 minutes for your pitch.
Okay, let me start sharing my screens. And yeah, let's go. Let's have some fun.
You're live. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here and spending the time with us. As you guys might have seen, we've put forward a proposal where we propose a collaboration between Cardano and the television show Killer Whales. Before going into that a little bit deeper, I recognize that I'm a little bit new to this audience. So a quick intro, my name is Sander Gortjes. I'm 41 years young or old, depending on how you look at it. Used to lead up the digital marketing division within Qualcomm, have been in tech and television production my entire life, and got big into Ethereum in 2017 when we were building and developing a digital marketing company that we sold later on. I've been doing angel and VC investing into the space since 2020. And since 21, we said, okay, how do we make sure that crypto as a whole grows? And how do we make sure that more and more people find their way to reliable and entertaining products in a way that goes beyond our current, let's say, crypto Twitter and YouTube echo boxes? Because I think the challenge for a lot of L1 foundations and ecosystems to grow is actually go beyond the traditional reach. So what we've set up is a television show called Killer Whales with the vision on growing the ecosystem in its entirely, showing the right projects to the people at home, and using existing distribution mechanisms like Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and more digital streamers that actually allow people to watch Web3 projects pitch their solution, their existing or to build solution to the viewers at home, sitting from their recliners and looking into what is happening in that space. We've partnered up with CoinMarketCap and Hacken, for example, as a co-producer. We also partnered up with a lot of big KOLs to actually push this messaging out. And we've been building the show for a second season, which is about to launch again on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, et cetera, et cetera. We have about 600 million people view in 65 plus countries. We have about 200 million social media impressions through the Web3 KOLs, CoinMarketCaps, and traditional mainstream media. And what we are proposing is a collaboration where we do not only produce the show and we produce a dedicated episode about Cardano, but we also make sure that we nurture the governance process to that. So we'll be actively collaborating with existing hackathons, collaborating with existing projects within the ecosystem, and we'll also make sure that a part of that process is actually on-chain. So I'll be running you very quickly through a couple of things. So this is one of the conversations that I had the other week, was that we've done a collaboration with other L1s, and their feedback is basically the return of a collaboration with Killer Whales is asymmetrical on everything else we did the last 6 months. And this was another L1. I will mention them. It's ICP, and what they're doing is they're doing live pitching sessions on their events at Token 2049 in Singapore, which resulted in them getting about 70 new builders onto the ecosystem because they saw camera data, saw the show, and people recognized that. Another one is in terms of our reach. This is the trailer for season 1, where you can see the production quality. You can also see the views, 1.3 million views only on this trailer on social medias, and you might recognize some of the names. Again, collaboration with the biggest KOLs in the space. Altcoin Daily is a co-producer, CoinMarketCap is a co-producer. And what we do is we make sure that the episodes are targeted to different audiences with different KOLs. Then the Killer Whale Season 2 trailer, where we made some changes. So besides only giving the projects a marketing platform and probably the biggest reach within Web3 into mainstream adoption, we also have a $1.5 million in grant and pricing system behind that to make sure that they're actually accelerated. your question might be, what are you guys asking from the projects? So is this like an undercover equity exchange type of thing? No, we don't ask anything from the projects. The projects come on completely for free. The KOLs and the whales are not allowed to invest during the production or after the production. They are allowed to invest after the show airs, as do other projects. I can run you guys through the presentation, but I think the most important thing is that we've outlined the entire proposal in here. There's a lot of information in there, and I would like to highlight a couple of things. So the first one is we'll produce a Cardano dedicated Killer Whales episode where Cardano leadership ecosystem members can come onto the show. We'll make sure that there's a hackathon and a prize selection. So we'll make sure that we co-organize hackathons together with existing partners, and we bring these onto the show. And we'll make sure that the whole episode and all the activities are amplified by the existing KOLs on the show. Again, this is a big lineup, but you guys can have a look at it. There are also a couple of options where we go into the tech and the event collaborations and brand presence there.
Thanks, Sander. Spot on regarding timing, and thank you for sharing a last pitch for today. And please, I invite you all to give your feedback. Please bear with us for the remaining minutes and shoot your curiosity and questions to the chat or raise your hand. And I'm giving it some time because I know sometimes it takes some time to wrap up your thoughts. Was there anything you didn't understand? Is there anything that you're curious? Oh, how many episodes will you be producing? Question from Natalia.
Yes. Okay. That's a simple one. So season 1 and season 2 were 5 episodes each. They're all produced on a format that it actually works with Apple TV and Amazon Prime, but also on mainstream broadcasting channels. So we are also working on broadcasting deals to get to that next step where we actually go on to broadcasting stations. We want to go to 10 episodes. And currently we are thinking about 5 or 6, let's say, vanilla type of episodes, as we all know, and 4 or 5 ecosystem-led episodes, as we are proposing today to Cardano. The cost, by the way, of all these episodes and also the representation of that is fully transparent, and is also put in the drive file that is attached to the proposal.
Great, thank you. And then there's a question from Danielle. Who shortlists the projects that make it into an episode?
Yes, so on the vanilla episodes, that is a consortium of Hacken, the auditor. It's CoinMarketCap with data background. It is a entertainment producer from Hello Labs. We have a community vote on that, which is on chain. And then we have a leadership vote from the Killer Whales production team. For a Cardano episode, this would be definitely be in collaboration with DReps or the Cardano Foundation, Emergo, depending on how you guys want to structure it. We're very open to discuss this.
Wonderful. Next question is from Sander. From Juan, sorry. What governance or oversight will ensure this aligns with Cardano's values and not just entertainment goals?
Well, the interesting thing is that this is, of course, you could see it as a big online ad for Cardano, right? So not only will be hosting a couple of whales into the panel that are Cardano representatives, we can pick and choose the other whales, so we can even go beyond the existing whale panel. So we can use ambassadors or even AAA celebrities if we wanted to. And the show is also produced in a way that it is really about, okay, we'll open it up, for example, with, okay, this is Cardano, this is what we're doing, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're searching for. We can match the projects with that by sourcing them together and making sure that the projects actually represent the core values of the Cardano ecosystem. Based on that, we will create not only an episode about Cardano, but we'll also create a 5 to 10 minute special. You quite often see that with these streaming productions, that they have the episodes and then they have like director's cut or a Cardano special or et cetera, So make sure that in that content on the streamers, there is actually this explanation about Cardano. I probably do not need to explain how we translate this into social media assets and how we can amplify that, but we'll make sure that whatever structure we work with, we'll work together with Cardano or the representative organ to make sure that it's on brand and correct.
Thank you. And yes, there's any more questions, also please have a look in the chat from Juan. There's a big plus, and huge proposal. It includes builder-focused hackathons and mentorship opportunities, not just media splash. Great. Keep your engagement coming. Pluses, deltas, anything you're curious about. Oh, right. And if there's any more questions coming, I encourage you to enter those in the chat, Sander. And if you have more questions, you're welcome to feed them into the chat. Just make sure you put who you're addressing it to which pitch or which person, so we get easy organization afterwards. And so with that, see, please follow the chat. And with that, I would like to, seems it's exhausted, no more questions, move to the next and last agenda point, which is feedback and closure. So thank you so much for everyone who's still in the room. We had 14 pitches today, according to my calculations. Great engagement. I would now like to invite you to think about, please stay for the last 10 minutes. I encourage you to stay, to think about your feedback. How did you find today's workshop? What would you like to change? What would be your next steps that you suggest? Any feedback, any questions? Any thoughts? I know it's late for some it's early. We have Nathan here from Philippines. We have Nadia from the US, I guess. I've also put a link into the chat for a survey. Yes. So there's, oh, okay. Oh, that's good. And yes, if we can have a word from someone maybe to close. We've seen Leonard. Thank you. Thank you for that. Any thoughts about what next steps you would find most useful? What was it that you liked about today?
This may go without saying, but I'll put it out there anyway. If you are a DRep or even a vendor, I mean, obviously still encourage and share this around. I know there are the recordings, but some people thrive on that person-to-person knowledge. So anything that you may have gleaned from being here, please share that with others as well, and keep the feedback coming, not only from the committee side, but for all proposals. So we get the most information out there as possible.
Right. Yes. And there is a message from Dirk. All links and recap of the Q&As are available in the Google document. You know, we are also live streaming and we're recording. So we're making sure we don't miss anything. But I'd love to hear from one or more two more people from your thoughts, how you're leaving this workshop today. All right. Will the recording be posted? I think we've posted everything somewhere. Yeah. Yes. Everything is in the Google Doc that Dirk has just oh, the recording was just posted by Danielle. It's a separate link, a YouTube link. Okay. Yes, so I understand we are at the end of our thoughts and breath. If there is nothing more, I'm not going to keep you here to force you to be staying until the end of the hour. With that, thank you so much. I'm sure I'll see most of you again for the next workshops to come. Thank you to the VC team. I now invite the team to go into our feedback room and our debrief room. And with that, I say goodbye to the world from all over. It's exciting to be spreading the world into the globe from the east to the west. And thank you. See you next time.